Granite samples covered my mother's dining table. My sister, Jennifer, debated between coastal gray and Arctic white for her kitchen renovation, her engagement ring catching the light. Arctic white photographs better for Instagram, Jennifer said. My mother nodded, already scrolling through Pinterest on her tablet. I sat across from them with my 17-year-old daughter Maya, watching the performance with growing unease. Maya's college brochures lay untouched near the edge of the table. "Mom," I said carefully, "Maya got her Northwestern acceptance yesterday. We need to discuss the college fund." My mother didn't look up. "That's wonderful. We'll talk about it later." "The deposit is due in 2 weeks," Maya said quietly. Jennifer glanced at us with irritation. "Can we focus on one thing at a time? The contractor comes in an hour." "The fund Dad set up before he died." "Your father set up a lot of things," my mother interrupted, her tone sharp. "I've been managing them for 15 years. I think I know what I'm doing." Maya's hand found mine under the table. "The college fund is specifically for Maya's education," I said slowly. My mother set down her tablet deliberately. "Your father was clear that I would have discretion over family finances. And right now your sister needs help." "My kitchen is literally falling apart," Jennifer added. "The cabinets are from the 90s. "We'll be fine," my mother cut me off. "There are loans, scholarships. But your sister is getting married in 8 months and needs a kitchen that can host family gatherings. This is about the whole family, not just one person's college dreams." Maya's hand tightened around mine. "How much are we talking about?" I asked. "65,000, Jennifer said brightly. "The contractor said we're getting a steal. The college fund is 68,000. "Perfect," my mother said, returning to the granite samples. 3,000 left over for textbooks. "You can't be serious." "I'm completely serious. Your sister needs a nice kitchen more than your daughter needs an expensive private university. Northwestern is overpriced anyway." Maya made a small sound beside me. When I turned, tears streamed down her face. She'd worked 4 years for this. Perfect grades, student council, hospital volunteering. Northwestern's biomedical engineering program had been her dream since freshman year. "The decision is made," my mother said. "I've already spoken to the bank. The transfer happens tomorrow." I stood slowly, helping Maya up. Every instinct screamed at me to rage, to flip the table. Instead, I took a long breath. "Okay," I said quietly. My mother looked up, surprised. "Okay. You've made your decision." In the car, Maya broke down completely, her composure dissolving into harsh sobs. "It's not fair," she choked out. "Grandpa left that money for me. He promised." "I know, sweetheart," I said, my hands gripping the steering wheel. We drove in silence, Maya's crying subsiding into hiccups. One thought kept pushing through. My father had been thorough. Obsessively thorough. He'd been an estate attorney and he'd built protections into everything. I pulled into a coffee shop parking lot and took out my phone. "Your Uncle John." John Martinez had been my late husband David's best friend and law partner. When David died 8 years ago, John helped me navigate the complex trusts my father had established. He'd insisted certain safeguards remain in place despite my mother's push to simplify things. He answered quickly. "Sarah? Everything okay? I need to ask about the trust structure Dad set up. The college funds specifically." Pause. "Interesting timing. Your mother was just here an hour ago." My pulse quickened. "Authorization to transfer funds from the education trust. She said it was for your sister's wedding expenses." Pause. "I told her I'd need to review the documentation. And, Sarah, remember the conversation after your father passed? About trustee designations? Your father named your mother as primary trustee, but he built in secondary approval requirements for transfers over 50,000. You're the co-trustee. You have been since you turned 35, 7 years ago." The parking lot tilted. "I'm the co-trustee?" "Yes. Your father structured it so your mother handles day-to-day management, but major financial decisions require both signatures. It's in the trust documents I gave you. The blue folder." I remembered vaguely, too grief-stricken to fully process it all. "So she can't transfer the college fund without my approval?" "Correct. And there's more. About 18 months ago, your mother started requesting increasing amounts for household expenses. $10,000–15,000 a month. I've been documenting everything. How much total? Over the past year and a half? Around 240,000. Maya was staring at me now, tears forgotten, sensing something significant was happening. Where's that money going? I asked. That's what I'd like to know. Your mother has been increasingly aggressive about accessing funds. The college fund transfer request today was just the latest. Sarah, I think you need to review the complete trust activity. Can you come to my office tomorrow morning? I'll be there at 9. After I hung up, Maya and I sat in silence for a long moment. Finally she spoke. What does this mean? It means Grandpa thought ahead. Way ahead. That evening I called my mother. She answered cheerfully, assuming I was calling to apologize. Sarah, I'm glad you called. I spoke with John Martinez. I interrupted quietly. A brief pause. Oh. He mentioned you need my signature for the transfer. That's just a formality. Some outdated requirement. You just need to sign a form. He also mentioned the $240,000 in household expenses over 18 months. A longer silence. When she spoke again, her warmth was gone. I don't appreciate you questioning my management. Your father left me in charge. He left us both in charge. That's what co-trustees means. The household expenses are at my discretion. $10,000 a month? What are you buying? That's none of your business. I'm entitled to live comfortably. On $250,000 over 18 months? While telling your granddaughter she can't have her college fund. Don't you dare lecture me, my mother snapped. I raised you. I took care of your father through cancer. I've managed this family's finances for 15 years while you focused on your little teaching job. I've earned the right to spend money without your permission. It's not your money, Mom. It's the family trust. I am the family. Your sister is the family. That college fund is family money and I'm allocating it where it's needed most. Sign the authorization. Jennifer's contractor needs the deposit by Friday. I kept my voice steady. I'm not signing it. Excuse me. I'm not authorizing the transfer. The money stays in Maya's college fund. You can't do this. I'll remove you as co-trustee. You can't remove me. Dad's trust structure doesn't allow it. And I'm meeting with John tomorrow to review all the trust activity for the past 18 months. You're making a huge mistake. Maybe. But it's my mistake to make. I hung up before she could respond. My hands were shaking, but for the first time in hours I could breathe properly. The next morning, John's conference room was covered in documents. Bank statements, trust paperwork, expense reports everywhere. Here's the summary, John said, handing me a coffee. Your mother has been systematically draining the trust's liquid assets. The $240,000 is just what I could track directly. Where's it going? Your sister mostly. Condo down payment last year, $60,000. Her car lease, $18,000 annually. Credit card payments, $4,000 monthly. Plus vague family support expenses. What about the main trust? The primary assets, commercial properties and the investment portfolio, are intact because they require both trustee signatures. But the liquid operating account your mother controls? Nearly empty. 6 more months and she would have needed to start selling assets. Which would require my signature. Exactly. I think that's why she's desperate for the college fund. She's run out of money she can access unilaterally. Maya looked up from the documents. Grandma spent my college money on Aunt Jennifer's lifestyle? It looks that way, John said gently. What happens now? I asked. Now you decide. You can file a formal complaint. Your mother would likely be removed and face legal consequences. You can freeze her discretionary access and require dual approval for everything. Or you can try to work something out privately. I thought about my father and the protections he'd built. About the promises he'd made to Maya when she was 9. I want her discretionary access suspended immediately. Everything requires both signatures from now on. Done. I'll file today. And I want a complete forensic accounting of the past 5 years. John nodded. I'll hire an auditor. What about the college fund? It stays exactly where it is. And I want to know what other education funds exist. There's a trust for your sister's future children. Your father was thorough. Lock that down too. Everything requires both trustees. No exceptions. My phone started ringing before we'd even left John's office. My mother, then Jennifer, then my mother again. I let them all go to voicemail. The messages started coming through as we drove home. Call me immediately. What have you done? The bank says I can't access the accounts. This is financial abuse. You're destroying this family. Jennifer's messages were even more panicked. Mom says you froze her accounts? What about my kitchen? The contractor starts Monday. I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I took Maya to Northwestern's financial aid office, where we submitted her enrollment deposit using the college fund. The fund that was exactly where it should be, protecting exactly who it was meant to protect. That evening, my mother showed up at my house. I watched through the window as she got out of her car, her face red with fury. I almost didn't answer the door, but Maya touched my arm. Let her in, my daughter said quietly. Let her see. I opened the door. My mother pushed past me into the living room. How dare you? How dare you freeze me out of my own money? It's not your money, Mom. It never was. I am the trustee. I have been managing. You've been stealing. From your granddaughter. From your own family. I provided for this family, my mother cried, her voice cracking. I gave your sister the help she needed. I maintained the family home. I kept everything together after your father died. By raiding a college fund? By spending $250,000 in 18 months. You have no idea what it takes to maintain our lifestyle. Your father's death left responsibilities. That's enough, I said, and something in my voice made her stop. Dad set up the trust to protect us. All of us. And he knew exactly what he was doing when he made me co-trustee. He knew you'd need oversight. My mother's face went pale. He trusted me. He did. But he also knew you too well. He built in protections because he loved you and wanted to keep you from making mistakes you couldn't undo. So what now? You're going to cut me off? Leave me with nothing? You'll have your discretionary allowance. A reasonable one. But every major expense goes through both of us now. That's how Dad designed it, and that's how it's going to work. And Jennifer's kitchen? Jennifer can take out a loan like every other adult. My mother stared at me for a long moment, and I saw something shift in her expression. The realization that the power dynamic had fundamentally changed. She'd spent 15 years as the family's financial authority, and in one day that had ended. I need that money, she said, and for the first time her voice was small. Why? Credit cards. Oh, I owe a lot. How much? She looked away. 87,000. The number hung in the air. John would find it all in the accounting anyway. We'll pay it off from the trust, I said finally. Once. And then you're on a strict budget with oversight. Those are your options. Take them, or we let the lawyers handle everything. My mother left without another word. Through the window, I watched her sit in her car for 10 minutes before driving away. Jennifer called an hour later, and this time I answered. I can't believe you're doing this to Mom, she started immediately. I'm not doing anything to Mom. I'm protecting what Dad built. Over a kitchen? You're really going to destroy our family over a kitchen renovation? No, Jennifer. You and Mom tried to destroy Maya's future for a kitchen renovation. I stopped it. Mom said she'd pay it back. With what money? The trust she'd already drained? Jennifer, did you know Mom owes $87,000 in credit card debt? Silence. Did you know she's been taking $4,000 a month to pay your credit cards? That's different. That's family helping family. Family helping family is not stealing from a college fund. Family helping family is not draining a trust fund to maintain appearances. So what, you're cutting us both off? No. I'm making sure the money Dad left goes where he intended it to go. Starting with Maya's education. I hung up before she could respond. 3 weeks later, Maya and I drove to Evanston to tour the Northwestern campus one more time. She'd been quiet since everything happened, processing the betrayal and the rescue in her own way. As we walked through the engineering building, she finally spoke. Grandpa really did think of everything, didn't he? He tried to. Did he know Grandma would do this? I considered the question carefully. I think he knew she might. And he loved her enough to protect her from herself. That's why he built in all those safeguards. And he trusted you to use them. Eventually. When I was ready. Maya stopped walking and turned to face me. Thank you. For fighting for me. I know it wasn't easy. You're my daughter. It was the easiest thing in the world. We stood there in the afternoon sun, on the campus where she'd spend the next 4 years becoming whoever she was meant to be. The money that would pay for it sat safely in the trust fund, protected by a man who'd died when Maya was 9 but who'd loved her enough to plan for her future. My phone buzzed. A text from John, accounting complete. Your mother's discretionary spending total, $287,000 over 3 years. Your sister received 73% of it. Full report attached. I pocketed the phone without reading the attachment. There would be time for all of that later. The full accounting, the difficult family conversations, the slow process of rebuilding trust, or accepting that some things couldn't be rebuilt. For now, I just wanted to stand here with my daughter and imagine her future. The one she'd earned, the one my father had protected, the one she deserved. Come on, I said, linking my arm through hers. Let's go see the biomedical labs. I hear they have equipment your high school could only dream of. We walked across campus together, my daughter already talking excitedly about research opportunities and internships, her voice full of hope and possibility. Behind us, literally and figuratively, the people who'd tried to steal that future could only watch from a distance, finally understanding that some protections couldn't be bypassed, some promises couldn't be broken, and some trust funds existed for exactly moments like these.